Hi, I'm Mans.
And I'm Monica, and this is
Bras Off, Walls Down, the podcast where we give you unfiltered stories, expert advice, and absolutely zero BS.
From relationships and careers to mental health and hormones, and all the stuff we're not supposed to talk about, nothing's off limits.
So take your bra off, get comfy, lay your walls down, and let's get into it.
Welcome to episode
Something.
knows at this point.
I think we just need to stop leading with that, and then we'll be fine. We can be any episode we want it to be.
Yeah.
This could be 11, this could be 45, who knows?
Yeah. Welcome. Just welcome.
Welcome back to the podcast. You're still here. Yay!
I'm glad if you made it this far, congratulations.
Or you're new. Welcome. Welcome to the family.
Yeah. Ooh, starting on a good conversation.
Yeah.
This is your first time here. It's going to get real.
It's going to be a little bit deeper today. I think we've had some really fun, different conversations, and today was the day. We've both just got so much going on in our own lives, so we're like, nope, today's the time.
I think it's time we unload on you. We've been nice.
Yeah, today.
We've eased you into it. We didn't want to start off being gloomy and talking about deep stuff and meaningful, but
we are here for the D&Ms, but we're also here for every other fucking emotion that we experience.
Exactly. So I think now it's time to get into the fun stuff.
It is. But before we do, I've got another serious question.
Oh, you make me laugh with these every time.
Is it okay if you don't use all the butter on your knife to wipe the excess butter back in the butter container?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't have time to think about that. Yeah. Okay, I do. I do annoying things like that all the time.
Because I do it.
Some people get really funny about it.
Well, this is what I was wondering, because we had a barbecue the other night for Hayden's birthday, and when I was taking the butter out, there's the little bits around the edge from where it gets wiped back in, and I felt quite embarrassed about them, so I pushed them back down into the...
You couldn't just... like, oh, that's disgusting, and throw it out. It was just like, let's shove that back in there. I love it. But people get really funny about that. They think it's disgusting. The breadcrumbs, it looks kind of gross.
It's just bread.
There's already too many steps to get simple tasks done. I don't have time. What are we going to do with it?
Okay, good. Well,
put it in the bin.
Now.
Put it in the bin. If someone has a problem with that, and I'm making toast for them, I'm gonna get it from around the edge, wipe it on the edge of the bin, and then get them some butter and put it on their toast with the bin knife.
Oh wow! Well, it's a waste of butter otherwise. Like sometimes I'm someone that likes a lot of butter, so I will put a lot
more butter
but
than
sometimes
bread.
You know what's the saying? Like your eyes are bigger than your stomach. But I don't know what the saying is for butter. But the butter equivalent. And you put too much
cholesterol. Make it high.
You put too much on your knife, and then you're like, oh, I suppose it's a bit much. The rest of that, just no such thing. Today, as we said, we're talking about something a little bit deeper.
We've got a lot.
Yeah. So obviously, this podcast is new for us, and this is where a lot of this conversation has stemmed from. Is the fact that this was a fast, hard, furious, and overwhelming change that we had. Like literally, I'm driving to meet you for a social media meeting on a Friday afternoon, and by Friday evening, we're texting back and forwards plans to overthrow the world with our podcast.
Yeah.
And then come Tuesday, we're at our desks, we're planning world domination. Yeah. And fast forward, that was like middle of Feb. We're now nearly middle of April. We're up and running.
Yep.
By the time you hear this, it'll probably maybe into May even.
Yeah, it will be. Yep.
So it just happened hard and fast. And we're both the type of personalities that when we enjoy something, when we want something, and we wanted this for a long time, that we go in. All in.
100%,
and it was either we're doing it or we're not doing it. And
it was no half-assed shit.
It wasn't like, oh, we'll just take it as it comes. And we just went all in. And so for us, and I don't know if anyone else listening has started a project like this. We had no idea what we were taking on and how much time. We had a rough idea what it was going to think, but it takes a lot of time.
It does.
It takes a lot of time to put it all together, like planning the episodes, organizing the guests, editing everything, uploading. The night before we launched, like I was up in support, but I wasn't actually doing it. We were up till after 12 because these uploads were just taking forever.
I've got really bad
it wasn't
internet.
Something we anticipated. And then we're both up at 5:30 to make sure everything. So we just we've put hours and hours and hours of
really
both our time, energy, and creativity in this. And this was a huge change. And we were both actually going through other changes
our own
at the same time. So there was just so much going on. And we it's been actually, if I can be like honest and a little bit real here, having you here while this is a change we're going through together, but the change I'm going through in my own business and my own career and earning an income and everything, having you has made the biggest difference. And I don't know what I would have done if I didn't have you at this time going through.
I can relate to that as well. I think it's all happened all at once. That it's like we both went on a journey together. Things started happening in our own businesses, but that's also brought us together as well. And it's definitely, I'm at a point where I am in my business where I don't actually know how I would be navigating it without you there, like, get your fucking ass up. Get yourself out of bed, bitch.
And that is the reality. Like,
yeah, no, 100%.
And that's why we wanted to talk about it, because from the outside, both of us individually have had comments like, wow, your life looks like so fun, or you have it all together. And we were like, well, no, actually, you see the highlights, not the lowlights. And so we wanted to be quite open and honest and be like, this is what's going on in our lives right now. So if you're looking at us and you're looking at our highlights, these are our lowlights. This is what we're going to share.
Yeah, 100%. And for me personally, the last few months, I would say, even before the podcast, have actually been some of the lowest I've been in a long time. So we can dive into some of that today. Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
This might be a two-parter, by the way.
I feel like one of us needs a clipboard out today.
This might be a two-parter.
How does that make you feel?
I think we can start with maybe our goals and what they look like now, and maybe what they looked like in the last maybe 6 months to now. And we can kind of go from there. We're going to let this one flow. Yeah. Very naturally. So what are your goals at the moment, whether it be personal, business, like podcast? What are they?
I think my overarching goal that I've had for a very long time, and I only feel like I'm on the path to it now, even though in the past, and I've got a great analogy for this, which I'll share in a moment, but for the first time in my life, I actually feel like I'm working towards my goal, which is both terrifying and fucking exciting. But I finally feel like I'm making traction for the first time in my life, because I've had this one goal for a fucking long time, because I am not the way I am wired. I am not a 9 to 5, wear what you tell me to wear, have my lunch break when you tell me to have my lunch break type person. And I've really, really struggled throughout my entire work career. So my always plan has been, I want to earn my own income, and I want to earn enough income so I can travel, because I fucking live to travel. Like, that is, if I'm not on a plane every 6 months, I start getting itchy like a fucking addict. And I want to do something that I fucking love, something that I would pay to do, because it just feels so easy and natural, and I'm making an impact. I'm helping other people. So the vehicle to get me to that has changed a lot over the years, and I've tried so many things. Like, you would not believe how many businesses I've started.
Well, you've told me a few. We're going to do a whole episode on actual our businesses and careers and past, so my overarching goal, when you compact it down, is I want to be earning an income doing something I love, where I can work from wherever I want, and I earn enough that Hayden doesn't have to work too, and we can travel, and we can work from a laptop, and we can go places and do things, and we're doing what we want and earning enough so that, if the podcast takes off, which obviously we would pay to sit here and do this all day. Fucking oath. Yeah.
So if this goes well, like we really want it to, I want us to be in a position that we can just fuck off and do that. Like, that's not an issue. We don't have to call in sick somewhere to work, or do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And you feel like you're finally on the right track for that.
I do. So I was listening to a podcast this morning, Natalie Ellis on Boss Babe, and she was talking about having hard set goals and the need for fluidity, and not being so set on the one outcome or the one vehicle to get there, because you could be shutting off other opportunities. And the analogy she used, which comes back around to me finally feeling like on it was like, it's like your GPS, right? So you put into your GPS where you want to go. Now, if you take a left instead of a right, it just reroutes you, right? You're still going in the same direction, or you're still headed to the same point.
To the same
you're just taking a different path, right? Which I always loved because that, you know, the way you go, how you get there, how long it takes, it might be different to what you thought, but you're still headed in the same direction. And when you get to that destination, you might go, oh, fuck, this is not really where I thought I was going to go. I'm going to go off to the left a little bit, or I'm going to go 15 minutes to the right.
Is that something that's scared you in the past? Like, is that something like, have you always been someone who sets a plan, has to follow that plan, get to the end, or?
No, because I never knew my belief that what I was doing, so much of it hasn't worked. Okay. So I just knew I don't know what the end looks like for me. I don't know what I'll be doing from my laptop to be doing that.
Yeah.
So it might not be what I'm doing now, but I know how I want to feel. I know what my day looks like, everything like that. I just don't know the vehicle to get there, and I don't know where I'm going. But for the first time in my life, I actually feel like I've started my journey.
You've got the feeling that you're getting there.
Previously, I feel like I've just had no signal and the map's just been on the fucking loading sign and I've just been doing donuts in a circle or waiting in the car park and I've not actually been getting there.
Yeah.
And for the first time in my life, I actually feel like I'm headed to go.
I like that. Well, congratulations. Well done. That is really good though. I like that. Yeah.
How about you? How about your goals?
I don't have any. And I think that's why I'm stuck.
You don't know where you want to go?
No. I think for the first time, I don't have that feeling of, I know the end destination, but I'm just taking along the ride, you know? I think I've hit a point where I've been alone and busting my ass and on an absolute fucking mission for so long now. Like before I even should have been. Like I just started way too early with everything. Dropped out of school at 14. I've been fucking working full time, making money. Like I've always held my own and been very, very independent. And I've hit a wall now where I'm like, I've just released a breath and I don't know if it's a good thing. I don't know if it's a bad thing. I don't know yet. But I've just been on this journey recently of just having no fucking idea what I'm doing. And I've never been like that before. I've always like moved from one thing to another. Like you'll ask my mum, it's like jump, never stopping. There's always a goal. There's always something I'm reaching for. And I'll always get what I want. Like always. I don't care about consequences. I don't care how hard I have to work. I don't care how many times I fail, trip up, make a mistake, whatever. Don't care. I'll get there. And I'll get there absolutely defeated if I have to, but I'll get there. And now I'm finally at a point where I'm like, I think maybe the fact that I'm even saying finally is maybe shows that it's a good thing.
I was going to say we were sending a few like D&M messages last night, and that's a topic for another conversation, but we were talking about the podcast and everything like that. And do you think maybe you've just enjoying the ride in not in someone else's car, but you're letting someone else drive?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think just enjoying sitting back with your feet up on the dash.
Yeah. And in a lot of elements with the podcast, having someone like you we just don't even have to communicate. It's just, we're just going. That's it. Like, and then in my relationship, having a partner that's just taking the reins and doing what needs to be done for our life. And then like friends as well I'm just surrounded by people that I don't need to, I've built good foundations. I've nurtured friendships, relationships, and I've built such a village and a community and a life that I've got boundaries. I've got self-respect. I've grown a lot. I'm willing to just keep that going, always learning, always growing, always doing better. But I don't have to battle anymore. I've always been in such a state of fight.
Do you feel like maybe if we go back to the car analogy, right? Because we're in life, we're either driving or we're in the passenger seat, right?
I've been in a car crash.
I was going to say, you've been, when you see those signs on the side of the road, like, don't drive tired. You've been caffeinated as fucking hell, driving all through the night. You've driven around Australia 4 times and now you're like, do you know what? I'm happy just to be in the passenger seat. Yeah. I've done the groundwork. Yeah. I'm happy just to chill for a little while. And then I can see where we're going. Reassess where I want to be.
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's been like a motion to get to the point of accepting that. Yeah. And not freaking out about it. My body has been in like my nervous system can't handle it.
Yeah.
Like, I am heightened and chaotic 24/7, and that has been my life forever. I know no different. And finally coming down is being like an absolute brain explosion, and I have no goals. And it's making me feel helpless. Like, I feel like useless. Like, I actually feel like I've got no direction and something to work towards. Like, the podcast, I think, came so easy. It was like, I want this, and there's been no fight.
No.
It's just been like a bust your ass and work, which is amazing. I love it. Like, I love being able to just work on something I love. And that's always, been my goal as well, is to, for me, it's never about the income. And so many people roll their eyes when I say that. And it has to be about the money. It's actually not. As long as I'm doing what I like, I know that the money's going to come.
Yeah.
Money comes, money goes, time doesn't. So I'm like, if I'm enjoying what I'm doing, it's okay. And I'm enjoying the process, but I'm also freaking the fuck out because I don't even have any personal goals at the moment. I've stopped training. I've stopped my life in the health and fitness industry. I've been there for like 10 years now.
Do you think maybe you're at a stage where perhaps you've actually reached some of your goals and just not realized it, and you're at a point of reassessing? You're like just at that next stage in life. You're like, okay, right, my goals that I had 6, 7, 8 years ago don't align with me anymore. I'm just going to take a step back.
100%. Yeah.
What you think you're going through?
I think so. And I was checking in with my nutritionist, Nico, this morning, and I was actually had a few questions in a form and I was answering them. And I came to the conclusion that going through this process of thinking about my goals and stuff, I realized that there's a certain things that I held on to, which we'll get into, and reasons why everyone has a why. There's reasons why I've done things, and reasons why I go to the gym and look after my health. I have some very deep reasons behind that I've never shared. I don't talk about it. And recently with my low, I've come out of that low without those things. And now I'm like, okay, well then why am I doing it?
So there's certain parts of you that are healed, and then
And now I'm like, fuck, I'm healed. What's happening?
Yeah.
We don't know this. This feeling is just
different.
Very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which can lead us into like the change that's happening, which is another thing we wanted to talk about.
Because change is scary and change is uncomfortable. And I sent you a quote the other day, and it was, change is scary because it's new, not because you can't handle it. Yeah. Which I sat with that. No, I sent it straight to you, and then I sat with it for a few seconds. I won't lie. I was like, change.
Yeah.
Sent it through. But it's true. And we were talking with someone else about this. This is something like Nico. Yeah.
I'm big uncomfortable.
It's true though. Like, if you're not uncomfortable, you're not changing. And if you don't want to change, that's fine. But the problem is our brains are wired to keep us safe and conserve energy. So every time you start implementing change because you want a different outcome, whatever it is, in relationship, in career, in finances, in hair, skincare, simple, complex, whatever it is, if you are trying to change, you want a different outcome, you have to go through a period of being uncomfortable, whether that's in the gym, whether that's hard conversations with your partner, whether that's pulling the pin on a really fucking well-paid job so that you can follow your dreams. There is this stage of being uncomfortable, and that's where the growth happens. That's where the change. If you're not uncomfortable, you're not growing, you're not changing. And so being uncomfortable should make you excited because things are changing. But then at the same time, your brain is wired because it doesn't know what's on the other side. So you might not want to be where you are. Say, let's put it in, say you're in a really shitty job or a really shitty relationship. You might not like it, but that's what you know. Yeah. You don't know the other side. So there's quite often you'll either start getting to the other side and then you'll self-sabotage because your brain's trying to keep you safe. You're going back to what's familiar, work to what's comfortable, even if you don't like it. But our brain also tries to conserve energy. So it's really hard to change how, what you're actually doing, your actions, because your brain goes, no, we need to conserve it. Let's just do what we've always done. Yeah. Because we can do that without thinking. So change it's so complex. And I think it's not a conversation that's had a lot. Like, we're both going through big periods of change. And it's both amazing and daunting and scary and lonely.
Yeah, definitely, because it's not for everyone. I don't think, like, everyone needs to go through that period of making changes, but it could be small little habits that you've got to change to reach different goals. But then there's also people that continuously want to do big things, like bigger things than most. So I think, it depends who you are as well, those changes and how you're willing to take them on. Some people don't. They'll just absolutely not.
Yeah.
Just don't change anything. And other people, like I think ourselves, we crave that continuous feeling of uncomfortability. Is that even a word? I
think it is.
Yeah.
Because for some of us, if there's no change, you'll start to find problems where there's not problems.
I think that's where I'm at with it all.
Yeah.
There's actually no change. I'm comfortable, and that makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That scares me.
Because and that's the same as like in a situation, in a mood. So people sometimes, if they're just in a neutral position, neutral mood, we don't know neutral. Nope. We're not happy. Neutral feels uncomfortable because we're not sad and we're not happy. Yep. But neutral's actually fucking amazing. If you can get to a neutral position, that is amazing. You can still feel your highs and lows.
That feeling where you can't actually describe where you're at. That feeling of just like, oh, how are you today? Yeah, good. Yeah, I think. Yeah.
And sometimes it can almost feel like if you're not familiar with it and you're not mentally like aware of it, it can feel almost like numbness.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're so used to. Because if we think of let's go your dining table there, right?
Baseline.
The dining table is your baseline. Everything underneath the baseline makes us feel really shit, scared, sad, terrified, horrified. All the negative feelings. Everything on top of the table makes us feel good. Happy, excitement.
Adrenaline,
lust, love, all the exciting things. But if we're just sat on the table, there is none of those heightened or lowered.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Emotions. We're just stable. We're a stable table. Fuck, people still use those? Do you remember those?
Stable table?
Do you remember those?
Do I remember an 80s table?
No, it's stable tables. They sit on your lap. They've got like beans underneath.
My grandma used to have one for every person in the house.
There you go.
They had one, and me and my sister would sit on the couch with one.
So that's what we're aiming for, guys. We want to be stable tables. But it's okay. But because there's no really low or really high feelings, we're like, oh, fuck.
I'm actually picking my nail with you saying this. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. No, we think there's something wrong because we're not feeling anything low or anything high. But if you're a neutral, that's actually a fucking good thing.
It is a good thing. And I'm so self-aware. Your girl has been in therapy forever. I'm aware of, all of these things. But when you're so caught in it on your own, I haven't been to therapy for a little while. I've been actually thinking about going back. It freaks you out. Your body goes into a state of fight or flight. Like, what do I do? What's happening? My nervous system is just not coping with it. And I want it to relax and I want it to calm down and I want to sit in that state of it's okay to be just stable.
And what are you personally doing to try and help yourself with that at the moment? For anyone else that might be going, oh, fuck, yeah, that's actually what my problem is. Like, what are you doing? Now, we're no professionals.
Yeah,
right?
no.
This is just what we're personally doing in our own lives.
I don't know.
Or you've just got awareness around it.
I think I'm at a state right now where I've just got the awareness of everything that's happening, but I have no solution. I'm not doing anything to sabotage it, make it worse. I think I'm genuinely taking it one day at a time.
Just trying to sit with it.
Yeah, and like one day I'm willing to accept that like there are days at the moment where I will not get out of bed and I will just rot. But then I think in my head, I don't let myself wallow in it and go, that's it, like that this is me for the rest of the week or whatever. I just go, this is me today. And then the next day I could be on an absolute high and have the most productive day ever. And I'm not, usually I would grab hold of that and be like, right, it's a high, let's go. And I just take over. But now I think I'm just, I had a really good productive day yesterday. And then today I woke up and got, productive again. But then I was waiting for you to get here. I just sat on the grass in the sun. You got here and I was literally just laying on the grass, rotting in a different way. But I'm willing to just accept whatever's happening right now. And I'm trying not to force anything.
Yeah.
Because like when we do get into like talking a bit more about mental health, I know not to force anything with myself, because that's when things do get a bit
So you're sort of just going with the flow, taking it as it comes.
And then when it does come to change, well, you know what? Something I probably am doing that I probably don't want to admit is I'm learning to ask for help from anywhere I can. I think, that is a change. That is something I'm doing, is I'm asking for help, like even going to Nico and talking about my nutrition and stuff like that. I've always been fine with nutrition, had good relationship with food, like everything's good, but like it was just an element of my life that I just thought, this is something I can take control of. Let's help. And then with the podcast, doing stuff with you, I'm relying on you to do some things. I'm not trying to take over and do it all myself. And even, things with my partner and home life, I did get to a point where I was like, right, there are some things that I really need you to take on right now that I cannot handle. I cannot do this. So maybe I'm learning. That's a big change for me. I'm learning to just ask for help and actually reach out to people. And
that's huge. Being able to ask for help, especially for women, it's very, very hard.
Yeah.
Because there's this deep-seated fear that if you're asking for help, then you're failing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And as we were having in our last conversation about women's roles and everything, we're meant to have our shit together. We're meant to be able to do it all. So when you say, actually, I need help on this one.
Yeah.
There's this little thing in there that goes,
do I?
You're failing if you can't do it yourself.
Yeah.
So you should be really proud of yourself for asking for help. That's something that I 100% struggle with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where were we in our unloading on our poor listeners?
We were talking about change, and I think the last thing I said was that I'm not forcing too many things right now.
Yes.
And we'll
so you
get
said
into
you're
that
sort of
conversation.
just sitting with it and just allowing it to be.
One day at a time.
Not trying to force anything.
Yeah. But I wanted to ask you, with all the changes that are happening and with you finally feeling like you're on the right path to being where you want to be and reaching your goals, whatever they may be, what is how are you feeling about the change, and what are you finding is changing at the moment?
I'm still finding parts of the change a little bit scary. And a little bit, I want to say sad. That's not the right word. So I'll put it in context. So December, I quit a horrific job that made me lose 2 kilos in 2 weeks. I was vomiting before I went to work every day, and I was crying at work. It was just complete and utter hell. And we'll go into it at another point. But it was just before we were off to Bali in January, and Hayden was like, you can't. You just got to pull the pin, right? Tell him you're not coming back after Bali. I was like, okay, cool. And then that Friday that I did that, we were leaving to Bali on the Monday or Tuesday, I think. That weekend, I was like, right, I can't fucking go back to another full-time job. This can't happen. I was just so traumatized by what I'd just been through, and I'd had 3 jobs the year prior anyway. And so I just made it happen. I got I had people that wanted to work with me on social media, so I just locked in those first 2 clients. One bailed when I came back, but at least I had one. So I had one client that was going to pay me $287 a week. And so I think financially, not having a full-time income, that's been a change that I'm really struggling with. What we're in May now, I'm finally, got a couple more clients and earning a bit more, but still not as much as if I went out and had a full-time job. Yeah. So I think that adjustment that plays into a lot. I don't have the money that I did have. So, and that has so many other flow-on effects, just like what you can do on the weekend. You're relying on your partner more. That makes you feel a little bit shit sometimes that you can't even buy dinner, not even a packet of mints. There's so many times that you're feeling a bit shit. So that change, especially financially, I've found can bring me down a lot. Yeah. And I'm trying to work on my money mindset and be really thankful that I do have the couple of new clients, and I do have a little bit more, and I'm trying to become best friends. There was Georgie Stevenson, who runs Naked Harvest. Actually, they've just changed their name. They're New Harvest now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they're trying to expand into America and they can't use Naked. It's bad.
Oh my God.
But she also does a lot around mindset. She has her Rise and Conquer stuff. And she was talking about money mindset. And she was like, become best friends with your money and treat it like a proper relationship. So every morning now I log into my bank account and I'm like, good morning. How are we doing? Like, I'm proper going all in delusional on this thing. I'm like trying to be really respectful and like I chat to my money. And but it has started to help.
Yeah.
Not more money being in there, just how I feel about the money that is in there. Even though I, as I said the other day, there was 10 days there where I had $2.89 in my bank account and I was freaking the fuck out. But at the same time, on the flip side, the change, and it'll just be little moments I notice during the day, and I can get up and go to the Chemist Warehouse at lunchtime because I'm, Hayden's out of deodorant and that's the cheapest place to get it. But I can get up and just go. Like Jensen's had a couple of hospital appointments for his orthotics on a Monday morning. I don't have to ask anyone for time off. I can just get up and go.
Yeah.
And I was reading an old journal entry I'd done from about 4 or 5 months ago. And it was like, I want to be waking up without an alarm. I want to be working from home in my pajamas if I want. I want to have and just all these things. And I went through this list. And although when I wrote that list, I pictured myself having $5,000 in the bank every week and a little bit, looked a bit different. So many of these things I've actually now checked off and I'm doing. So it looks a little bit different. And sure, I'm not quite all the way there, but that change in what I've accomplished, I feel like I still haven't celebrated and I don't know how to. And I think the other change is I feel a little bit isolated now.
Okay.
So as we've been talking about a lot recently is actually friendships and relationships. And I did have a really close friendship that sort of ended recently. And Hayden works really long hours. Like he's 55 to 60 hours a week and he has a lot of outside work commitments that he gets invited to. And so I find myself alone a lot.
Yeah.
And I think going through the change and the on the mental health side, the things you think about yourself when you're not bringing in as much money and you are relying on your partner a little bit more and you're feeling a bit shit some days, then when you're alone and you feel like no one else is going through what you're going and you feel like when you open up to them and they'll either generally do it'll be all right, you'll get there.
It'll be okay.
Or you could always just go and get a full-time job, and it's hard to find someone, which is why I've really appreciated speaking to you, because you're also working for yourself. You're also in that change period and that struggle period where you're like, I love what I do, and how can I earn more so I can continue doing what I love what I'm doing? But I do feel quite alone and isolated.
I think that's a huge conversation in itself that people don't have. And that is being the person that wants to change, craves the uncomfortable, and there's things you want in life and you're not scared to go out and get them, but not many people are like that. So it's isolating. It's very isolating. Yeah. And it's even the people that are like us, we're bonding over it and we're talking about it, but there's not many other people out there that you can talk about. Everyone wants to show the glamorous life with their laptop next to the beach working. No one wants to share
how they got there and
the so-called fails, I say. But that is what makes or breaks you. And I think that's what I've been reminding you a lot lately, is that this is a part of it. And all the things that you're doing to try and change your relationship behind the finances and the money, that's going to make or break. Because I feel like you can either be on one end or the other. You can either be that hustler who's going to be like money, 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 and you kind of lose yourself in what you're doing and you become like the CEO that's just busy and busting their ass and just craving the dollar signs. Or you can be the one that sits back, stays humble, and continues to hold your value and your morals with what you're doing. And that's sitting on that end of things is where it's fucking hard. And I can 100% relate to that, because I even more so am very I will not step out of my morals and the drive to do what I love to chase more money, because like I said before, time, you'll never get that back. So I keep trying to remind you, you are doing what you've always wanted to do. You're doing it. That path that you said you're finally on that. So you've got to, yes, make money to survive. No shit. Obviously, duh, shit's expensive right now, but just appreciating and keeping, like, you got to keep reminding yourself, taking that step back to be like, I'm doing it. I'm fucking doing it. I'm doing what people say you can't do or you shouldn't do, or just go and get another full-time job. Like, yeah, no shit, I could go do that, but I'm not going to.
No, that's, and I saw something as well that was like, that might be your plan A, but that's my plan B.
That's my plan Z.
Yeah.
It's not even, I know that and I think this is a big thing that I remind myself with, and I think you've got to remind yourself with it too, because I tell a lot of people this that are in a similar position or that are thinking about doing what I'm doing. You know what you would do if you had to. Like, I've got my spray painting to back me up. You've got qualifications to back you up. You've got experience in other areas to back you up. You know that if it came down to it and it was make or break, survive or die, you would go back to that because you've got to do what you've got to do. But your drive to not do that is more powerful than giving up and just doing that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like back to like the consequences thing. This is a consequence of your actions, and it's one that you've got to take.
Yeah.
On the chin and just deal with, because like in the harshest but nicest way possible.
Yeah, no.
The more you can get through this, the more it helps you grow and build, and you realize that there's not that, like, you hold value to money, but if you put that on yourself and make money what you are and who you are, it warps this whole journey completely. I understand the pressures, but I think you're stronger than that and more powerful than that to be able to overcome it and keep going. I believe in it 100%.
Yeah.
Because I still go through periods where, like, even now I'm going through a shitty period, and yeah, you don't make as much money, but it's going to come, isn't it? Eventually. It'll come, it'll go.
Yeah.
I know you're going to do it.
I think the reason I feel so different about it this time is the point that got me to going, right, I have to go all in. It was so traumatic and I had to go all in. I just saw no other option, whereas I just had to make it work. I had to. And I still, to this day, you know what? That was in January.
Yeah.
We're only in April, but I'm still like, I have to make it work.
Yeah. That should be your drive. That's your drive. That should be your motivation. The thing that keeps you going. Because look at how many people sit in these horrible jobs, getting treated like absolute shit, getting spoken down to, micromanaged. They are miserable. When you ask them, they're miserable, but then you go, what are you going to do about it? Nothing.
And I've been there. I've totally been there.
Now you've taken yourself out of that. You're the opposite.
Yeah. And then, so I was trying to figure out what was different, why this time it's starting to work in quotation
marks. You're fucking doing something about it.
Yeah.
Like, you are taking action. I'm very passionate when it comes to being, like, I cannot surround myself with people who aren't going to take action on their things and they're just going to sit in it and let it drown them.
Yeah.
Like, I get so frustrated. It's like a pet peeve. But as soon as I see someone that's willing to, like, take that little step or that big step or whatever it is to just do something, I'm going to be like, right, keep fucking going.
Yeah.
That's why with you, I'm like, I know you've got this. I know you're going to keep going because you have no other choice.
No.
At the end of the day, you do, but you've got that mentality of, no, I'm going to make this fucking work.
Yeah.
And you've taken that big step.
And I think this is the mental side around it is huge. So I was having this conversation because I'm the same. I've got friends that come to me, and I used to work in meditation and mindset. So people still come to me for a lot of like advice, and I'm not very good at taking my own advice, but they will come to me for advice. And the thing is, wants to quit smoking until they're actually ready to quit smoking. They'll do it for 2 days and they'll be back, and then you just have to be fucking ready. It's for big changes, whether that is career like us or whether it's something, you have to be willing to just go all in.
Yeah, and you really need that mentality of only you can do it.
Yeah.
Only you can make the change for yourself. You have control. Like, there's external factors that impact thing, yes, but that's got nothing to do with you. If you can't control it, you can't control it. And I'm fucking so big with that. So once you finally learn to accept that only you can make the decision, you need to stop blaming external things. You start to realize that you are in control, you've got this, and then you start to go on that journey of letting you all down and allowing other people to help, or knowing who to ask or who to go to or who to learn from or who to ask for help. That then becomes like another part of the journey. But once you need to take that step on your own. No one else is going to do it for you at all.
No
one's going to quit smoking for you.
No
one's
exactly.
Someone can get you in the gym. No one can make you put in 100. It doesn't work like that.
Nah, it's the same. If you imagine, and this is what one of my clients I used to work with a lot, who used to really struggle with like depression and feeling really, really blue and very victimized from the universe. If you imagine yourself in a hole in the ground, someone can put a ladder there. You have to climb up. If you're not willing or ready to climb up, or scoop it and start building your own staircase one stair at a time, but you have to be you have to be ready yourself. As you said, no one can do it for you. And I think that's the thing, we're all waiting sometimes for outside signs or outside influences or the right help or the right money or the right time. Like, logically, I shouldn't have quit my job when I did. I had zero savings. And when I say zero, I meant negative. I've got a loan there that is paying off.
Yeah.
I was in negative, but I could have sat there and said, I'll just stay here until. And then I can guarantee, because I've done that before, I would still fucking be there. And it goes with anything you're going, whether it's career, whether it's relationship, whether it's health, whether it's finally starting to grow out your hair, whether it's getting control of your mental health, whatever the fucking is, renovating your house. No one's going to tile that bathroom floor for you. Well, they might. You just have to fucking organize it.
I don't know. It's making me think like I've always had that mentality starting from a very, very young age. Like, I grew up way too young for someone. Like, this all comes back to me being like 10. This is when it all started. My mental health went absolutely downhill when I 10. What the fuck do you know about mental health? But my dark path started then, and I was always someone who didn't care about consequences and I was never scared of anything, but I had no self-confidence at the same time. Like, I was continuously a contradiction. But over the years, when I started to learn how to take control, and it took a very traumatic experience for that to happen, I've started to use that. Like, I've never changed. I've never changed. I've just tried to turn it around and use it in like a positive way, if that makes sense. Yeah. Like, I've turned it into a superpower. The fear of no fear of consequences. I can't speak. Like the just pushing myself to purposely be uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It used to put me in really ugly situations and really horrible situations, and I was putting myself in danger. But now nothing's changed other than the fact that I went, hang on, people are shitting on me for the way I am. It's time that I stayed exactly the same, but used it in a different way. Yeah. And flipped it myself. No one else was, I'm so strong-minded, no one else was going to do that for me.
And what was that flip for you? What did you change in it? How did you change it to be a...
My heart just got very heavy when you asked me that question. It just felt like a experience that I had, because being very young, I put myself in a lot of holes and it took a very horrible relationship when I was only 16. Dark police were involved. It was the most pivotal traumatic moment in my life that I've never spoken about. From then on, that's when I actually found the gym, and like that was my why, to pull myself out of it, because I realized in that situation that I had a support system. I had no actual excuse to end up in this situation. I had all of these professionals and people telling me as if I was just another fucking statistic. Like, oh, what's your background like? What's your mum and dad like? What's this? Like, usually people that are in this situation come from this and this and that. And I was like, I come from none of that. Like, we all have our trauma and our shit, but like, I put myself here. I made the choice to stay. I did. Yes, I was very young, easily influenced. I'm not a victim. I'm not a survivor. I'm none. I'm just a person that made a decision that fucked me up, and it kind of strung all my decisions together. And I went, hang on, I've been doing this to myself. I've been so hot-headed, and I will listen to nobody. No one can tell me what to do. I don't fear consequences. I don't fear authority. Like, I'm just a hurricane. And I sat in that in a very negative way for a while. I just went on the ride of being a hurricane, and I described myself as just fucking chaotic, and I'm just going to ruin your life and and then I flipped the script on myself out of nowhere.
And what's the new script?
It's that, yes, I can be like that. I can be that hurricane, but in a good way. And it's going to be my drive. And I'm go, 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 and I never stop. And I've always got a new thing to work towards and new goals, and I can change my life in a second, but I'm going to do it in a good way. And I always noticed that whatever I did, I tried to make sure it didn't impact others. That was I think that was the one thing that kept me grounded and was my superpower, was that I didn't fear consequences for myself. But if somebody else was involved, I was like, right, like, I don't care if this hurts me. If someone else is going to be hurt from it, it cannot happen. And so I think now, having that good support system, nurturing those relationships, having my partner, good people, like all of that, my drive to want to protect what I've built and the people around me and the people I love is like, now that's my drive to use what I've always been like for that. If that makes sense.
It does.
I kind of feel like I went a bit
no,
with that.
And when you said about support as well, I think that's huge. I think that's the only reason I've been successful this time, is because I've had the support. Like, I'm very lucky to be with the person that I am. Yeah. That I have that support there. Like, without him right now, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing.
And I can agree 100% with myself as well. Yeah. I think we live in such a society where being hyper independent and you're a boss bitch who's got this on their own and you don't need anyone, and keep your circle small. And
is that a protective thing though?
I really think it's, because I used to be like that. I only need me. Trust no one.
Is that protecting you though? Like, that's how you protect yourself.
It is. It's a wall. It's a protection. It's a coping mechanism when you've been hurt and burnt, and like, it doesn't help. It doesn't help you. Yes, being independent and looking after yourself, and like we said, only you can make the changes and you can do this for you. Yeah, but you need that support system. You need your people. You need a village. Like, we are humans, yes, but look at how we've evolved. We all need each other. We need relationships. We need support, even from being a mum. You need your village around you. Like, in every element, having people to bounce off, having people to be next to who are bigger than you, better than you, smarter than you, that helps you.
Yeah, 100%. And that's something that we're all missing, and perhaps why so many of us are craving community these days. And that's our big driving force behind this, to be really honest, building a community. Because once upon a time, like, even when I think back to when I was a child, where we grew up in one house, in Gosnells anyway, my grandparents lived, a 3-minute walk behind us, not even. It was probably like a minute. Yeah. My aunt lived walking across from the road, and I had friends across the road, and we had church up the road, and like, everyone was really, really close. And if you go back even further than that, well, that's when, you had your village and you had everyone there. You had someone who was an expert in this and this and this and this and this, and you could talk to about this and you could talk to about that. All the blokes could lean on and go and do this. Like, obviously life looks a lot different to what it does now, but now, we have friends that they're still in Perth, but they live 45 minutes away, and you're all so bogged down in the 9 to 5. You've got an hour commute each way, so it's not an 8-hour day, it's a 10-hour day. Plus, you got all the things you got to do at home. When someone goes, want to come round for dinner and a chat, it's the last fucking thing you feel like doing. So we're so cut off from our village and that support system that I think to really I think that's a change we actually all need to make. You need to get back your village. And at the moment, my village for quite some time has sort of only really been one person. And now I've got a second.
But I think that another thing that like makes me think of is the whole, I see it so much on social media. Yes, we have those friends that we never see, and when you do see them, it's like nothing's ever changed and you never talk, and people are like, why should you have to reply straight away and cut those expectations and those pressures? Yes, I get it. But also something I've learned in the last maybe 4 years, 5 years, is it's actually okay to set expectations on the people around you, your friends, your family. It's okay to voice boundaries, voice your expectations, your needs, what you want to actually get from that friendship, relationship, whatever it is. And like, why do you want to not talk to your friend?
I totally agree.
Yeah.
I absolutely 100% agree, because every friendship, sibling, everything, they're all relationships. And with your partner, if your partner didn't text you back for 3 days, well, you probably live together, so it'd be a bit odd, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If your partner didn't do something, you'd be like, well, fuck no, I'm not getting what I need. Like, you have expectations, right? It should be the same in all friendships. And
don't get me wrong, I'm not for the whole, like, oh, you didn't text, like, as to a friend, like, you didn't message me back, how dare you? No, from the beginning, you learn to communicate. You take control of and you say what your needs are, and if those needs can be met, fantastic. If they can't, you can adjust them as well. Like, there are certain friends that I know that we leave each other for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, and we don't need to talk all the time. That's fine.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. There should never be pressure.
No, but it's the type of relationship you have with each person.
And every single person you're going to have a different relationship with. There's going to be some person that you can tell your deepest, darkest secrets to, and there's going to be someone that you know is probably not the most trustworthy, but you have value in that friendship still. I say that about a lot of people, but you can't trust everybody. That's okay.
Yeah.
You don't need to trust. Why does everyone need to know your biggest, baddest secret? They don't. No. Like, you don't need to trust everyone. It's okay. And so many people have been like, oh my God, I can't trust you. That's it. No, it's like, it's fine.
It's fine. You can have different relationships with different
person.
people.
Something that you don't want getting out there. I know if you tell me something, my best friend's hearing it. But if you say to me, don't say anything, please, then that's cool. Yeah. But the communication and setting those expectations for that village around you and that community that you're building, you've got to take control of it. Once again, it really comes back to, you own your life, and you have to be the one to dictate how things are going to go around you. Especially if you're giving out XYZ and you're showing up for ABC and you're doing that, and then you're wondering why you're feeling a lot of resentment with another friend because you're not getting it back. Well, that's when these expectations, they're so important. Yeah. And you don't have to lay down the law or anything. No. You can just have a nice conversation. Yeah. Again, taking control and be like, hey. Owning your shit. Yeah. I'm really big on, if you're going to do something for someone, even if it's the nicest thing ever, never expecting something in return. Ever.
I agree to a certain extent, but if you've got a friendship where you're like,
if you're just giving,
that's different. I think, but absolutely, you can't go, well, I did that for them, so surely they should be rocking up and doing something. It's not tit for tat.
Yeah, no,
but at the same time,
trigger point. If anyone ever, like, and I've had it happen, well, I did this for you.
Did I ask you?
I'm like, well, did you do it out of the kindness of your heart, or did you do it expecting something in return? Because if you did it expecting something in return, you needed to communicate that. You needed to say, hey, I'm going to do this thing for you. Maybe at a later date, could you do this for me? If you do that, cool. But if you're going to do something, buy me a coffee 6 months ago, I had someone do this to me, actually, a friendship record, like 2 years ago, and they listed things that they'd done for me, and this person was toxic and horrible and was like affecting my life, my family, my work, everything was getting brought down. And this person actually was like, I bought you things while you're pregnant and I brought you coffee.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I can't take it personally. I never will. because that is a you problem.
Yeah, that
Like, don't list the things you did for me, because I also did things for you because I'm a good person and you were a friend, and I'm going to do those things for you, and I'll never hold them over your head or make you feel shit for it.
Yeah, wow.
But also, all you did was buy me a coffee. If that's what you got for me, after all that shit I took, you go, fuck off.
I'll take my coffee.
I will take my coffee and I will go.
It's all about that balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, really taking control.
But that community to grow is huge. And that's something I've learned the last few years.
Network, as you said, whether it's asking for help for things, whether it's just a listening ear, a conversation. But I think we've never lived in a world that's been so connected. Like, I can open my phone.
Connected yet so disconnected.
Exactly, that's my next line. Yeah. So connected yet so disconnected. Like, you can open your phone and see what a friend in London had for lunch yesterday. Without even talking to them, you know what's going on in their life. But yet you might not see a family member for 2 months and not think anything of it. Like,
and I've noticed that recently when I've had like people that I'm actually friends with or acquaintances with or close with actually come to me and be like, oh my God, like this looks so perfect. I ran into a friend recently. I don't know if she's going to listen to this. An old friend I went to primary school with her and everything. I went clubbing. I never go clubbing in Freo. And she was like, oh my God, you and your partner, you're a power couple. You've got your shit sorted. Like, your life is perfect. You're a boss. And I was like, whoa, like, huh? Like, it was a reality check for me, because I was like, no, is this, like, I know that I genuinely do just share the good things on social media, but like, I didn't realize that was the perception. And I think that can be quite harmful, because then, like, I noticed that person wasn't approaching me anymore. They weren't talking to me. They weren't messaging me. And she was like, oh, I just don't want to, I feel like I'm getting in your way. I don't want to like interrupt you. And I was like, what? Like, no way.
I think that's why conversations like this are so important, because we don't want a Facebook full of lowlights. Like, yes, we like to share journeys and ups and downs, but if your whole feed was like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an example that isn't utterly horrifying and depressing, but if all you posted was all the shit that was going wrong, no one would fucking follow you. It's like why I don't watch the news. They don't show anything good.
Yeah.
It's not like Anchorman where they're showing like water skiing squirrels. I'd watch the news if that was on there. You're not sharing all the good shit going on.
You don't want
sharing
it to
all
be
the bad shit.
Terrible.
But yeah, so I think that's why conversations like this are incredibly important. Just to be like, you can look at someone and be like, fuck, they look like they have their life really together, but we're all going through the same shit.
Everyone is, yeah.
We all have the same feelings. We all have the same experiences.
You hear people say this all the time. We're all going through the same thing. Remember that social media, but you still get, it's like we're all permanently brainwashed, and you hear like it's all fake, like it's this and that, and you go, yeah. And then you go, oh yeah. Like you need to be constantly reminded.
You do. 100%. It's like a kid and brushing their teeth. You just have to be on it all the time.
Constant highlight reel. That's what social media is. And like you got to remember that, because people are doing it with good intentions most of the time. Like myself, I'm trying to share the good, the positive, to be like a
motivating.
Yeah, it's a bit motivating, because sometimes I get messages that are like, oh my God, like, thank you for sharing that. And I'm like, oh, like that's really, I was genuinely just sharing like a nice piece of my life, and that impacted you in a good way. But it can impact people in a negative way if they're just seeing that as well, your life is just great.
Yeah, and it really does come down to who's looking at that content. Like, if you're not in a good place mentally, which we go through waves, all of us, like anyone who says they've got perfect mental health all the time, like power to you, like, but if you're not in a good place, like me, some days I open my Instagram feed and I'm like, nope, not today.
Absolutely not.
Not today. Can't do it. And unfortunately, my job is living on Instagram. So I find
social media.
I find it very difficult sometimes. So when I'm on a low day and I open it and I see, so-and-so, one of my friends has just bought this and I haven't been for a fucking shopping spree in forever. What I wouldn't do to go shopping right now and buy more than laundry detergent and pork mince. I'd give anything just even $50 shopping spree would be amazing. But we all have those days, whatever it is that's triggering you, because that's what you're dealing with in your life. And you can guarantee that's the shit you're going to see as soon as you open your feed. That's the stuff that's going to be there, the stuff you're irritated and
bloody knows. Yeah. It does. It knows.
And they're the days that you just need to close the app and go, do you know what? There's more to life than social media. And I know so many of us use it for the business and everything like that, but you can go one day without it. You can go, fuck off with my phone. I'm going to go do something else. Because mental health is just so fucking important.
It is, and it's delicate in a very different way. It's like, it's a subject that I'm very passionate about. Yet it's strange, even though I know how delicate it is and how sensitive it is, I'm still very harsh about it.
For yourself or for others?
I think both. I'm still very... I've been dealing with negative mental health since before I should have even known that it was a thing, that I'm very and I made the decision to make the changes and put myself in therapy and do this and do that, that when I see people not willing, I get very upset and very I don't know, I don't have much tolerance for it almost. It's,
Speaking to someone was one of the best experiences of my life, and it's something I wish I could just do permanently.
Yeah, like I said, I've been thinking about getting back into it.
It's just having someone unbiased that doesn't know the ins and outs. They're not in the thick of it. They're not in the bubble. They're completely outside the bubble. And just being able to talk to someone and get a different perspective and just open up without judgment is just so freeing.
It was the best and worst experience for me. Well, getting put into therapy very young. I got put into therapy before I could really make the choice to do it. But I've spoken to some people when from 16, I was like, you need therapy. I spoke to some people that I was because I think as I was young, I did come across a lot of counselors and therapists that were just trying to get down to my level. And I've always been very emotionally intelligent, that I'm like, what are you doing? We're not here to talk about you. We're here to talk about me. Why are you trying to we can't relate.
Yeah.
But then going to actual therapy, it's good. I've taken what I want from it, because I did get given a lot of labels and diagnosis and that shit. That's a whole other story.
Do you then, as someone who has been through a lot of therapy from a young age, do you feel proud then, because you should, of where you are now with your awareness around mental health and actually what you've achieved in life?
Yeah. Given the cards that I have been dealt in life and the shit that I have gone through, it was a good 10 years of just fucking snowball after snow and just this fucking cyclone of shit continuously. So given what I've been through, I probably have the excuses to be a shit person, but I'm not. So yeah, I do give myself a lot of credit for it. But I definitely don't sit up on my high horse about it. I'm quite humble about it, because I know that it could slip at any moment if I'm not careful. So I'm constantly.
That's the thing with mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when the low that I have been going through recently, it is very I know how to handle it. I know how to deal with it. I reach out to people when I need to. I ask for the help when I need to. But at the end of the day, I need to just ride the wave.
I said the exact same thing to myself this morning. So when just something triggers you and you're obviously already in a low mood, but I woke up and my eyelids were all swollen, I'd been crying in my sleep or something. I hadn't, not that I know of, but they were all swollen. And so I'm trying to put on my makeup and it's all watering and a bit painful. And then this happened and it triggered. And I was just when you get in that zone mentally, and that's when your jumper or your handbag strap gets hooked on the door as you're trying to leave, and everything spirals. And when you're in that point, you've got 3 fucking choices. You can either choose to sit in it, wallow in it, and let it affect everything for the rest of the day. And do you know what? Sometimes that's what you do need to do. Yeah. That's fine. Just not for an extended period of time. You can spend the time to unpack dig deep, find out what the root of your actual drama is, why you're
exhausting.
but you can find out what the fuck you're actually upset about, or what's irritating you, or what's wrong, or what's making you angry or depressed, or whatever you're feeling, you're experiencing. And you can go, right, what can I do about that? Do I need to speak to someone? Is it something I can journal out? Is it something that actually wasn't as big a deal of what I thought it was, like whatever it is? Or you can fucking shake it off.
Just keep going.
Open a window and not let it affect the rest of your day, which actually might be fucking amazing.
Schedule in a time to cry later.
Yeah. Which I took option C today.
Yeah. So have you scheduled in a time to cry?
No, because I don't think I need to.
No, that's
so
fine, yeah.
And my theory is, if I wake up tomorrow morning and it's the same again, and I wake up the next morning,
then you go,
then all right, there's something I'm not dealing with.
Yeah.
But if I just woke up on the wrong side of the bed and I fucking we've had a few late nights. We've been watching Breaking Bad, and it was the finale last night. So we've been having a few 12 o'clock nights, which normally I'm asleep about 10.
Yeah, that's going to affect you, definitely. Yeah.
So maybe I was just fucking tired. And so then I don't want to make a big deal about it if I'm just tired.
Yeah, I think that's where the one day at a time comes from that I'm dealing with at the moment, just one day at a time, because like it could be something bigger, but I can't work out what it is, but I'm not ready to dig yet. So for now, just one day at a time, and then I'll fucking figure it out.
I think that's probably just one of the most normal and practical pieces of advice. Just one day at a time.
Yeah, and be kind to yourself, but also on the other end of being kind to yourself,
pull yourself up on your shit when you need to.
Literally, I was going to say that. Yeah.
And if you
pull
can't,
yourself up,
send a message to someone who can.
Yeah, 100%. No, I agree. And let other people be there if you've got that support system. That's huge. But when it comes to change and allowing that change to happen and riding with it, it's fucking scary and it's hard, and you feel like everything's going to come crumbling down around you. But I don't know, I feel like the universe has a way of putting you on the right path. And
yeah, there's a great story, and I won't tell it because I will butcher it. But again, it was on Natalie. I've only heard it once. You know, when
you've said this a few times with a few things, actually. I'm waiting for this great advice, and you're like, never mind.
I don't have a good memory. I'll summarize the story.
Yeah.
To give my story context. But it was another boss babe, Natalie Ellis, and she was telling a story about a man that lives on a farm with this most beautiful white horse. And everyone that would come by would look at this white horse and they'd want to buy it from him. And everyone would offer him all this money for this horse. And he was just a man on a farm, not much to his name. And he just kept saying, no. And his neighbors would be like, what are you doing? You're crazy. You could have sold the horse. You could have had some money. And then one day the emperor is camping nearby and he sees the horse and sends some of his soldiers over, and he tries to buy the horse. And they would have given him a lot of money. And the farmer's like, no. And again, his neighbors are like, why would you do that? Blah, blah, blah. He's just going to kill you and your family. He's going to steal the horse anyway because he wants it. Like, you should have just given it to him and got lots of money for it. And then the next morning he wakes up and the horse is gone. And so the neighbors are like, see, I told you. And the guy's like, yeah, maybe good, maybe bad, what have you. And this is like his attitude the whole time. Maybe it's bad, maybe it's good, who knows. And then the horse comes back the next day with 4 more horses. And the neighbor's like, oh, wow, look at you. Lucky you didn't sell the horse to the emperor, because now you've got 5 wicked horses. And the guy's like, yeah, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. And then the son jumps on a horse. I think this is how it goes. Anyway, this is summarizing it. Son jumps on the horse, falls off and breaks his leg. And the neighbor's like, well, if you got rid of the horse, then, you know, your son wouldn't have broken his legs. And he's like, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad, who knows? Then not long after, a war breaks out. And the conscription is going around, but they're only taking healthy people. And because his son's got a broken leg, he can't go. So the neighbors are like, oh, you're so lucky that your son fell off and broke his leg, because now he can't go to war and you've got him at home. And he's like, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. And this story goes on like this. And it's just showing that change is always going to happen. And you can either look at it as good or bad, but when you look at the bigger picture, you zoom out and look at everything you've been through. Yeah, that might have felt bad at the time, but look where it led you. Look what come, look what happened.
That story just hit me. Yeah, that is like perfect, the perfect explanation for life. And if you take it like that, and I live like that to a T. I have no regrets. I have no, I wish I did it. None. It is what it is. It happens the way it happens. And staying humble and sticking to that attitude, who you are, and things happen. I think that takes you a long way.
It is what it is.
Yeah. And I point it out to Dylan all the time with how we speak and how we talk about things, and when good things come to us and we get like very privileged like opportunities, I say to him, it's humble, stay humble. Like, it is what it is. We appreciate it. We don't take it for granted, and we just keep going. We don't brag or change who we are or hold value to that thing. We just keep going, and we keep working hard, and what comes, comes, and what goes, goes. Which
is a great outlook to have.
Yeah, 100%. So, moral of this entire episode, I don't even know what the moral is. We've been through a lot. We've been on a wave.
I guess for me, if I was to give a takeaway for anyone listening, is that nobody has their shit together. We're all going through stuff, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Find your people to talk to about it.
Yeah.
We're sharing this with you because we've had a lot of people lately go, oh my God. And we're going through so much, and we've lucky to have had each other to talk about these three things: change, mental health, our goals.
Well, some people don't have that.
No.
And I understand. And I mean, my DM's always open.
I was just about to say the same thing. I was about to say our message, our inbox is always
I'm probably
open.
The least judgmental person. Unless if you've got ill intentions, don't come near me.
No.
But when it comes to being an open book and being willing to hear other people just as much as I would talk, I'm there.
Same. And I've made my fair share of bad decisions. And
hell yeah, same. Oh, if we really go into some of these stories.
I guess the other piece of advice, and I have to remind a few people about this every now and then, is that no matter how old we get, no matter how many children we have, no matter how much adult we think we are, we're all just trying to do our best each and every day, and we're trying to make the best decisions each and every day. And do you know what? Some days it's not the best decision. We thought it was at the time, but when looking back on it, it's not. And sometimes we didn't take the best action, and that's okay. Everyone is fucking human. So even your parents, when you're like, why the fuck would you do that? They're just other adults too. We're all just trying to. Anyone who says they're perfect is fucking lying. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, no, I think it was nice to open up.
It was.
It sparked some conversation.
It did. So if there's anything in here that you are like, I think there's so many little nuggets in here actually that we went through, but if there's anything in here that you're like, I want to talk more about this, I want to hear more about this, I want to share my opinion on this, like, send us a message, fill out our form. Like, we're here. This actually is how a lot of these conversations come about, is someone hears something in one episode and says, can you please dive into more?
Yeah. And I love having deep intellectual conversations.
I'm not very intellectual, but I'll try. But this was a little bit deeper than any of our others that we've had so far, but let us know. Are these the conversations you like hearing? We're here for you. So,
see you next time.
See you on the next episode. If you loved this episode, don't forget to hit follow or subscribe so you never miss a chat.
And we love seeing where you're listening. Tag us in your stories at Bras Off Walls Down and let us know your favourite takeaway.
Got a question or a topic you want us to cover? Slide into our DMs. We love hearing from you.
See you next time.